I've quickly discovered that our other side is, well, going to need a U-bolt. Alright, what's going on, guys? Today on the agenda we are getting back to a little bit of Mazda content. So what we're going to do is get the modified intake all ready to go. So a while back we sent the intake out to Woody's Custom Coatings and Repair, and we had him powder coat the intake. So to do this Weber carb swap, we deleted the EGR, and there's about 12 or 13 vacuum ports that we actually deleted from the truck. So we pulled all of the little steel stems out of there to get those ready to go. I do not have aluminum welding capabilities, so it's kind of like a semi-shaved intake. You're going to see it in just a second. It looks really good. So what we went ahead and did is we tapped all those little holes where the vacuum ports were on the intake, and now that we got it powder coated, everything like that, we have to clean up the edges a little bit, and then we're going to seal our bolts with some Permatex and run our bolts and set screws and our fancy stainless steel hardware in some spots into this intake. I think it's going to look really good, so let's get over to the bench and get started. Alright, it's time to get cracking on this Mazda intake. We got the bumper out right now. Powder coat, you guys, we got to talk about that a little bit because was a chrome bumper, and you can see this intake looks really good. We shaved this down. Originally I was going to polish this myself, and after about 15 hours of working on it, I just decided to smooth it out and then have Woody's Custom Coatings and Repair do this chrome powder on here, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Is it exactly the same as real chrome? No, it's not. It is damn close though. I'll put a picture in here. The wheels were done in the exact same color. Let's take a look. So super awesome, you guys. We got all our bolts in here. These are, you know, kind of some fancy guys with some copper washers, purely for aesthetics. So all of these were vacuum ports that we're no longer going to need with our Weber carburetor. So now, after this was at powder, a few of the holes on the top, even though they got blocked off, Jeremy does phenomenal work. We still have to kind of retap them, clean them up so that we can put these in nicely. Back here, we got a block off right here. I'll clean up this guy so it's not used and old looking. You can see remnants of a crayon there that I used to take it out because that guy was really stuck in there. This is actually a stud from the Audi TT drift car. So we put that in there. That actually ended up threading into this hole pretty good. Thought it was kind of cool to bring a couple projects together. We got our EGR block off plate here. This is from Mazda Mitch on Mazda Minitruck, and super awesome product. I decided to paint it, make it black, and then down here we have one more plug. So right now we're gonna get all these guys out of here, get our taps out, clean up these holes, get them all sealed up. We got some Permatex pipe dope here we're gonna shove on these guys, and then we'll be ready to roll. So my snap-on tap set is missing some of the sizes we need, so we're gonna have to figure that out. What I just did is called hot bluing. So you heat the metal up, and then you can use linseed oil, WD-40, but basically we're trying to rust-proof this bolt, because you saw what it looked like before, or this plug rather. But you saw what it looked like before we did that, and then we cleaned it up. It looked nice, but it's just bare metal, so it's gonna look like crap again. So you heat it up, and then you just let the oil kind of impregnate into the metal. So now it's got this nice blue hue to the black coating. I don't know how well the camera is going to pick that up, but that should solve our corrosion issue on here. This, you know, obviously you're changing the metal if you heat them up red hot like that. I'm not worried about any strength, you know, this is just plugging this hole here for our application. Now that thing shouldn't rust. Alright, so we made a trip to the old Hazard Fart. This is the tap kit that's up there. Then we also picked up this absolutely massive kit, which I wanted for a while. A lot of this is pipe threads, which I'm hoping will help us clean up the holes. Well, this one's sealed already, but a couple on the back. So what we're doing right now is just cleaning these up. Again, these were sealed off. As you can see here, this didn't get powder coated. Jeremy is very thorough, but we did kind of, just on the top threads, that first starting thread on some of these holes, we had to go through and clean them up a little. This is a tool that I think everyone needs if you're gonna do anything with Taft. These ones are Lyle, same as the Mac and Snap-on ones you're gonna get. This was like $40, I believe, versus, you know, whatever they'd charge you on the truck. I know they sell the Lyles on the truck as well, but basically your tap just goes in there and then you can use a ratchet. So that's been nice. We're just gonna keep cooking on this. If you guys don't have one of these, haven't seen one of these yet, they just go right in the end of your drill. This is a super awesome tool in situations where you have a bolt that's all boogered up, you know, it's mushroomed, let's say, it's beyond the point of being able to chase or even tap that thing. Use this guy, you just take your bolt, stick it in the end there, and it'll actually conically shape the end of that bolt so that you can reuse it. In our instance with this guy right here, we actually cut the other end of it off. This thing was really long and I didn't want this, you know, this would have just been hanging out in the intake where if the air is flowing, and you know, in our situation, this truck had like 86 horsepower on a good day, probably wouldn't cause any issues. I mean, it's just not, but I didn't want that sticking out. So we shortened our bolt. There we are. Now we can put this one in. All right, so now that the intake is all wrapped up, one other thing we're gonna do is a little more hot bluing. You saw that process a little bit on the intake there. We had a few factory plugs we used from the Mazda intake originally, and what I did is I cleaned them up and then they're just raw bare steel. So I used a process called hot bluing, which is heating up the metal and then you either soak it in like a WD-40, a linseed oil, there's a few different options. And I'm not an expert in it, but it coats the bolts. It gives you, you know, like the metal almost gets impregnated with this oil when it's heated up and then submersed in it, and it's going to give it kind of a rust resistant coating. And you could really see there the difference in the bolts when we were done. So one other thing we did, and we had a short on this last week, is pull our lift blocks and our old extended U-bolts out of the parts truck. So it's a 4-inch drop kit, goes between the axle and the leaf springs. The U-bolts were not in great condition and everybody seemed to lose their mind. I mean, you should see the comments on that short if you want to go look at it, read through them. I mean, people are, those are torque to yield and you can't reuse that. Never once said I was going to reuse them, and I did get 4 new ones made. Even if I did reuse them, you guys, here's the thing. That truck has a mind-numbing 85 horsepower and weighs about as much as an empty Busch Light can. So I promise you, would have been completely fine. But I did go ahead, get some U-bolts made. We're going to hot blue those as well. So we've been working on that, attempting. We're running into a few issues. We'll show you what that looks like. So right here is our oil of choice. That's some WD-40. And you can see there, these ones haven't been touched yet, but just for comparison, there is a nut and a washer that have been hot blued next to one that has not. So you can see the distinct difference it makes there. So why exactly are we doing this? Well, you can see here, this is a U-bolt that we just cleaned up. I picked these up on Friday, you guys. Picked them up on Friday. There's one that's cleaned up. If you look at this one, these are just bare steel, you guys. That's just from 2 days sitting in the shop and or at the shop I picked them up from. But when they make these, they have these bar stock, you know, they chop it to what you need, they thread the ends, they heat it up and then they cut it. So if you see right there, I don't know how well it's gonna pick it up or focus, but you can see the heat marks from when they bend these and heat these up. But this is all rusty, corroded, so you can imagine what this would look like under the truck. So this one is cleaned up. This one is not, and we're attempting to do, you know, this exact same thing here. This is one of our old U-bolts. I've just been putting the hardware on here, torching them until they're cherry red, and then going and dunking them in the oil. So that's how we did that. The torch, however, does not give us very even heat distribution when we're trying to, you know, work with these U-bolts here. So to remedy that, we got the toaster oven out, and you can see it's going right now. We got one baking in there. I attempted to hot blue this one, and I think we have to do a few more heat cycles inside the toaster oven because, I mean, it's still hot right now, but you can see kind of blued it a little bit up there, but I don't think the whole piece as a whole was quite hot enough. So we're running, this is our 3rd cycle in here, maybe do a couple more and then we're gonna dunk it and see what happens. Alright, so this is where we're at right now, guys. You can see the U-bolts came out really nice. The bolts themselves, we heated up in the toaster oven, so they didn't get, you know, quite as dark as, say, the hardware did here. But this looks much, much better, you guys. You saw that one over the weekend. I can't believe it. I mean, I can, because these were just raw steel. Yeah, so everyone can quit freaking out that, you know, we were going to reuse those U-bolts. We got new ones, and then we took the drop blocks. You can see those there, and we just kind of wire wheeled them, squirted some clear on them quick just to clean them up, because those, they were pretty nasty. They were all corroded. They'd been under the truck. These had been under the parts truck for, you know, probably 10 years or so. And then of course we got the intake taken care of. So I'm excited, you guys. We got all this little stuff, takes a lot of time. If you'd like to see a more in-depth video doing some of this bluing stuff, I'm by no means an expert, but I think I got a process down, you know, to do it pretty well. So I like how these turned out. I think that's going to work out better than painting these things, because anytime you paint a fastener, you know, as soon as you put your impact or a tool on it, you're going to chip the paint off. So hopefully that'll solve our issue there. I'm excited, you guys. Parts are starting to, you know, just get nice, ready to go. I'm beyond ready to have this thing done. That's what I had for you guys. We've been working on the Mazda. Just a lot of this little stuff takes a lot of time, and then we've had some setbacks. I'll put some pictures in here of us over at Woody's powder coating and repair. He's helping us make a plan for that bumper. So when we went to clean up the bumper, do our acid dip, if you remember all of that stuff, we cleaned up the backside and ended up poking like 3 little pinholes through the chrome on the other side. And if you know how chrome works, I wasn't going to have it, you know, welded up and then re-chromed. I don't even know anyone around here that does that. So our game plan was to weld those holes shut, sand them smooth, send it out to sandblast, get an etch on that chrome as best we could, and then Jeremy's actually going to powder coat that same chrome finish. He's going to powder coat it the exact same finish we used on the intake and on the wheels, so that should look pretty good. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop me a comment down below, like and subscribe if you have not already, and as always, we'll see you next time.